JP, you are still under oath.
Thank you for the reminder, Chairperson.
Yes. Mr. Skakal.
Thank you, Chair. May I just request as we round off this topic of the 14th or 15th, ask the tribunal to get what was called Exhibit 4. It's a layout. If you could be given that, and Exhibit 5, which is the notes that my learned friend, Mr. Matonsela, placed before the tribunal. It's the notes on the footage.
Yes.
And
We
Chair,
have it.
Yes. Can I also say, Chair, I'm going to read, the panel doesn't have to go there. I'm going to read from the record, which is the complainant's evidence in chief. It's the hearing of the 20th of January 2025. You could just note. And as I did before, Chair, what I will do is to point those things out, and in every theme as I will do, and allow the witness to fly on autopilot on each of those topics, because it makes it easier. JP, can I take you to that first and read you what the complainant says on the 20th? And so that you can help the tribunal compare whether the version is the same. It's at page 65.
Which is page 152 of the consolidated.
155 of the
152.
152 of the document that we did to make things easier. Ms. Bengo says this. Are you there, Chair? No, I'll wait. 152.
It's 152 of the bundle, on the strength of which I testified in the morning.
Yes, Chair. You will see the points that it says, and this is what the complainant says. I was coming from the chambers of the judge that I was working with. He heard the footsteps because it is not a mat there, it is tiles. He called me to come into his chambers. And then after being asked, she also says, no, he called out, in other words, he called me out, and also not in a loud manner or loud voice, because the judge's door where I had worked in is not far from his chambers. And then you will see that right at the end there, this is where she ends by saying that the respondent, the JP, said, do you see how much effect you have on me? I want to stop it there and put my witness on autopilot about comparing. We're going to take now both exhibit 4 and 5, and ask the JP to take us through those two.
Thank you, Chair. So a version has been proffered.
Could you just wait for the JP? I think JP is still Chair is still reading.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. So, Council, I take it that you were reading from page 65.
Yes.
Of the
transcript of
which is
the
page 152 of this document.
The document consolidated. Yes.
The point being made there is that she was coming from her chambers. So I will need to be aided with the map. I don't have a copy. So one must look at this testimony against the background of what is embodied on Exhibit 4. Exhibit 4 being the map So,
Just a minute, is this one?
Yes, that's,
And that black stripe must be on the left-hand side, am I
yes,
right?
yes, that's
the dark, yes, the dark shade is on the left-hand side, Honorable Member.
Yes.
So, as I understand it, she says, and we will see that there is a chamber somewhere. Actually, yes. So there's an arrow which goes down, and then that arrow turns to the right on Exhibit 4. So basically, we are moving from the premise that, according to the testimony, she was not called by me as I was standing on my door being the one at the corner, as you look at this, which says rectify SI or something like that. So there's the door. I'm trying to make sense from this document. Yes, new judge's chambers is right at the corner. So it is not her testimony that I called her while standing on that door marked B1.10. So she claims to have gone down this way. I was from the chambers of the judge that I was working with. He heard the footsteps because it is not a mat there, it is tiles. He called me into his chambers. Then she then says later on, she came back. In other words, the way in which she went, she then turned back. So it's either I called her while standing on my door, that is not the evidence. It seems from what I gleaned that I might have called her from the chambers of my secretary, not my chambers, but I'm just being benevolent there, Chairperson. So I would like us to look at this testimony in the context of Exhibit 4. But then, most importantly, we need to go to Exhibit 5. Is Exhibit 5 the footage? Because at this point, I would then say, let's look at this testimony. Let us have a look at the footage, but I'm covered by this exhibit. Thank you, sis. This is Exhibit 5. Exhibit 5 is CCV footage in Ray Mtata High Court corridor on 14 November 2022, notes on movement of people. I hope the honorable members have laid their hands on, and the chairperson too. Thank you. So we don't bother ourselves with what the introduction is about. We don't bother ourselves with the morning session of 14 November, for present purposes, of course. Then we go to the second last page of that document. Footage 2, afternoon of 14 November 2022. It reads, Miss Mango is seen emerging at the corner coming from the direction of Chamber 9. She's walking down the passage in the direction of Chamber 0. She's carrying a tray with teacups in her hand. She is seen exiting the corridor through C01 door. So, were the footage to be, the video to be played, we would actually see the complainant emerging as stated here, because this is a document that is the subject of agreement between the parties. Then, paragraph 30, Ms. Mango is seen entering the passage again through C1. So in other words, she went in that direction and then she came back. Is seen entering the passage again, C1 door, ushering two individuals into Chamber 1. She and one of the two males enter the AJ's office. So that's not my office. Later, Ms. Mango is seen coming out of Chamber 1 and exits through the door, C1 door. She does not feature again beyond that point. So in other words, if we look at this that was agreed to, unless we must replay it, there's no time when in that afternoon Ms. Mengo is seen moving in the direction of my office, be it entering through the secretary's office, Ms. Ngai, and coming back the way she testified. Counsel.
Thank you, JP.
So the version testified to on the 16th, on the 20th rather, as you pointed to, that version does not find support from the footage, CCTV footage, the video that was played. And in fact, if one has recourse to page 21, which is paragraph 20, where she says, a day later, he sees me walking down the corridor and imitates how I walk. So it must be that there was a time when, as she was moving down the corridor, according to her sworn statement in the complaint, that there's a time when she was walking down and then I imitated her walks, according to what I'm reading. I didn't comment, I walked past instead. On my way back, court's floor in Umtata is tiled, so you ought to hear one walk and so on and so forth. I noticed that his secretary was not in her office on her way back. Got in and he showed me his trousers and so on and so forth. So this version, which is embodied in the complaint affidavit, in any event concerning the 15th, and her testimony fly in the face of this document, which is Exhibit 5. So it would be interesting to see exactly what her version really is. But some of the things are matters for argument. But point of substance is that this document embodying agreement as to movements does not support her version. I am coming to this tribunal saying I parked my vehicle at the parking lot at 1620 as shown in the report. I walked up, I must have gotten to my office around 1630. So, counsel, I believe that disposes of the incident of 15 or 14 or 14 or 15, whatever the case is.
Thank you, JP. Chair, as you'll see now, I'm also going to then move to the chats. But what I'll do is to start with what I said. I separated it as a theme because it's been a recurring theme of one more allegedly disgusting thing that the JP did, which is what is known in the annexures as in the picture as K8. But may I take the in this document, document that you were given this morning, page 19, because I think
Page 19.
19. The starting point should be what the complainant says in paragraph 15 thereof, which is her complaint about this event.
Thank you, counsel.
And yet again, as I said, I think it's much more useful to put the witness on auto cruise here. But to read the paragraph, it says, it's well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the sixth line on that paragraph, page 19.
Page 19.
It says, JP sent me an image of private parts and asked me, quote, yours please, close quote. And I replied, Jesu. He said, why? Does it look delicious? I did not respond. And that is reference to annexure K8. It's at page 51 in this document. That's K8. JP,
Yes.
may I give you the opportunity to deal with this question before we go to the general chats.
Thank you very much. Chairperson,
It's just
Sorry, Chair. Yeah.
Chairperson,
In the complaint, it's page 47. K8. Yours is page 50. It's
is a page, a small page 50, and then big.
could I assist?
yes.
So the journey that we are undertaking now, Chairperson and honorable members, is the journey around K8. So Council has referred to, as a starting point, the complaint itself. The complaint he has referred to deals with what allegedly happened on 20 June, I suppose 2021. Could we then go to page 18 of the document, page 18 of the document that I was using in the morning, where everything is put together? Page 18. I want to start where it says on 20 June. So the document that we are about is the one that we were using in the morning, Chairperson. The question now relates to K8 and what is said about it. So paragraph 15 is at page 18. I hope the chairperson has laid his hands on that.
Paragraph 15.
Paragraph 15, page 18.
Oh, I see. All right.
Small 15.
Okay.
Yeah, small 15.
Small 18.
Small 18 as against 31. So paragraph 15 mentions things that allegedly took place on the 20th of June 2021. So the aim here is to refer to the complaint itself insofar as it addresses K8, is to refer to this other bundle, which is Exhibit 3, and for us to trace what it is that is said about K8. As a starting point, I never sent any private parts picture to the complainant. That's just a broad statement, but now pertinently I'm dealing with K8. So paragraph 15 starts off by saying, on 20 June, he commented on the voice where I was sitting with my sister's kids. And then that paragraph ends with her saying, he sent me a video of a woman lying on her back with a man on top. We'll deal with that. Chairperson, see that?
I do.
Yes, thank you. JP sent me an image of private parts and asked me yours. Please, and I replied, Jesso. He said, why?